You know the Iron Man song by Black Sabbath that's in all these Iron Man movies, but when you listen to it, it has pretty much nothing to do with Iron Man? The lyrics, has he lost his mind, can he see, or is he blind? Though seriously, that's the question that needs to be answered about Iron Man 2. Did the director lose his mind? Are the writers fucking blind? And I ask this because Iron Man 2 sucks, and I really want to know why it sucked. And I know, you're probably, asking or saying to yourselves, oh, Iron Man 2 isn't bad. Iron Man 2 is great. Please, don't hate on it. Well, I'm sorry. I hate Iron Man 2 with a passion. Granted, it's not one of the worst comic book movies. Well, no, it is one of the worst comic book movies I've ever seen in my entire life. But it's not the worst. I've seen many, many other bad comic book movies, sadly. But this is one of the worst. I hate this movie with a bloodthirsty passion. I hate this movie. It's just a huge, giant, downgrade from the last Iron Man movie, which is really disappointing. The last Iron Man movie was great, and this just seemed like it was rushed out in 2 years because, well, the last movie was great, so let's just make another one. Didn't really feel thought out, and it really fucking sucked. Especially in 2010, because 2010 was just a whole year of shitty movies. Terrible summer movies. So it was really disappointing to see this movie, and it sucked. But I'm about to get into why this movie sucks and why I hate it. My main problem with it is that it's just a giant advertisement for the Avengers movie, which really pisses me off now because the Avengers is now out and you can watch it pretty much on any video format, DVD, streaming, Blu-ray, what have you. So there's no point in watching this movie because it's just a huge advertisement for the Avengers. Like, you wouldn't watch a commercial after you buy the product. It doesn't really make sense. So there's no point in watching Iron Man 2 after you see the Avengers. Especially because pretty much nothing from Iron Man 2 will pretty much lead into anything. Well, I guess maybe Iron Man 3, but I haven't seen Iron Man 3 yet, so maybe if I see that, some things from Iron Man 2 will pop up in Iron Man 3. I don't know, but for right now, this movie is pointless because the Avengers is now out, and you can watch that. You don't have to watch the commercial after you buy the product, so there's no point in watching Iron Man 2 anymore. Go watch the first Iron Man movie if you want to know about Iron Man in the Avengers, because Iron Man 1 was way better. Iron Man 2 sucks. And a big problem with it being just a huge, giant advertisement for the Avengers movie is, what if you're not a comic book fan, and you're just a general audience member that wants to see an Iron Man movie? Not an Avengers commercial movie, but an Iron Man movie. You'll have no idea what is going on. You'll have no idea who the hell Nick Fury is. You'll have no idea who the hell Black Widow is. You'll have no idea what plot is being dumped on you that will lead up into the Avengers. You have no idea. Like Nick Fury in the movie, and while Samuel L. Jackson does do a great job as Samuel L. Jackson in this movie, and the same in the Avengers, he's never a developed character. And I know, you're probably saying, oh, well, he showed up at the end credits of Iron Man. That does not mean that your character was developed. You have to develop the character and tell people who he is. Yeah, we know that his name is Nick Fury. We know that he is, the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. But the problem with that is, why is that important to know? Why is his character important that he needs to show up here? I'll tell you why it's important, because if we show some Avengers characters in this movie, it'll boost ticket sales for comic book nerds. And it will lead up into the Avengers movie, because, that gets ticket sales, apparently. It's pointless, and if you're just a general audience member, you'll be totally lost. You'll probably check out of the film and walk out of it, by the time you get to the middle of the movie, which is really disappointing. So that's my main problem with the movie. Other problems I have is there's no action. None, barely any action for the movie. And which really pisses me off because you have Mickey Rourke in the movie who plays the character Whiplash. Now, I'm not sure if they did the character justice from, the comics, but they fucked up on pretty much almost everything else in the movie, so might as well add that to the list. There's no action in the movie, and which pisses me off because they advertised the movie as if Whiplash was going to be a main villain. He was going to get shit done, and he was going to be a total badass, when in reality, when you watch the movie, he does nothing in the movie. I'll tell you right now and sum up exactly what he does in the movie right now in probably a couple seconds. What does he do? He builds an Iron Man, a half-assed Iron Man suit, tries to kill him, fails. Then this other villain dude, shows up, hires him to make more Iron Man suits, and then, sits on ass for pretty much the rest of the movie until the end, where he shows up in this super upgraded, cooler, awesome Iron Man suit, which I'll get to in a minute. That fucking sucked. And he shows up, and he dies after, like, a minute. There, I just summed up his whole point in the movie in a couple seconds. Come on, give me an award, because there was no point to really have him in the movie. Well, there was. But the problem is that they advertised him as if he was going to be the main villain, when in reality, he didn't do anything. He showed up once, got hired to sit out of the movie pretty much, and then showed up and died after like a 1 minute fighting scene. That is bullshit. And it's terrible. And who does he take a backseat to? Oh, he doesn't take a backseat to any cool villain. No, he just takes a backseat to some douchebag, corporate company dude, played by Sam Rockwell. Sam Rockwell, I'm not really a big fan of his work. I really haven't seen him in anything, but people say he's a hilarious dude. He's really funny. And if I went under that assumption watching this movie, I would have slapped the shit out of the person who told me he was funny, because he is not one damn bit funny in this movie. Okay, he has one funny scene, and that's when he's talking about the missile called the ex-wife. That was funny, and that will always be funny, and that is one of the only good things about this movie. But he's annoying in this movie. People say that, oh, the movie sucks, but Sam Rockwell's hilarious. No, he isn't. He's annoying as hell, and we shouldn't be seeing this character. We should be seeing Mickey Rourke as a badass Russian villain in this movie, not this stupid corporate douchebag. And people say that, whoa, he's a cool character because, the idea is cool. He's basically like an anti-version of Tony Stark. But that's my problem with the character. Why do we want to see an anti-version of Tony Stark? We love Tony Stark because he's awesome and he's a badass, but he's also nerdy and high-tech and super cool and awesome. Why would we want to see an anti-version of that? That's like saying, I love Han Solo, so let's see a fucking anti-version of Han Solo. Doesn't make any sense. Why would you want to see that? No one wants to see that, so don't show me that. He doesn't even take a backseat to a cool villain. He takes a backseat to an asshole who, again, doesn't even show up in most of the movie. Which is stupid. Like, show us more of Mickey Rourke as Whiplash, not more of Sam Rockwell as Justin Hammer. Who, again, I'm not that big of a fan of comic books, so I don't know if they did him justice. So, maybe they fucked up, and that's just another thing to add to the pile of shit that this movie did. I have no idea. But that was just, that was another problem I had with the movie. Whiplash was barely in it, and there's no action in the movie. There's 3 action scenes, and I know there were 3 action scenes in Iron Man, but the ones in Iron Man were enough to hold you over until the next action scene. The 3 action scenes in this movie are literally like a minute long. The first one is the little Monaco battle at the Monaco race. Second one is the one where Tony and Rhodey are fighting in the Iron Man suits. That was just a dumb scene. That was a fucking stupid scene. I'm sorry, but that was just stupid and dumb. And I should probably exclude it from the film completely and just say there's only 2 action scenes. But I'm a fair guy, so I'll give it that. And the third action scene, oh god, the third action scene is the final battle, and I'm only counting it as the part where Tony is, flying away from the, hammer drones. That's not even really an action scene because he's just flying away like a wimp. And then I'm counting them both. I'm counting the scene with the hammer drones, the fight with the hammer drones, and the fight with the final battle Whiplash, which was bullshit, okay? That was bullshit. The ending is one of the most anticlimactic and one of the most disappointing fight scenes in any comic book movie ever. You hear people bitch and moan about Spider-Man 3, Venom barely being in that. Well, why don't we bitch at Iron Man 2 for barely having Whiplash in it and having him die like a bitch? He shows up finally, in this super, mechanized, awesome fight, in this super big, awesome final battle suit, which is awesome, and you're so excited that shit's about to finally happen at the end of this movie. Maybe this will save the whole movie. And then he fucking dies pretty much by a high five, pretty much. Where they use the repulsor rays to blast each other, and it causes just a big explosion, and he's in the middle of the explosion. And if it was that, and if it lasted like 5 minutes, I would have been fine with that. But it pretty much lasts like 45 seconds to a minute. Bravo, bravo, you made one of the worst action sequences in any film. Congratulations, you suck. You win the biggest piece of shit award, goes to Iron Man 2 for one of the worst action sequences in my life. And what pissed me off the most was that it was really dark, and it was really hidden, and you could barely even see what Whiplash's suit looked like, and then he just dies after a minute. That pissed me off. Film your scenes better, and make them look like you can actually see what's happening. Bullshit. That scene was terrible. Get your action scenes filmed better. What else do I have? I have way more notes here, trust me. Also, some of the Easter eggs for the Avengers movie are not subtle at all. I mean, if you literally just had a representative of Marvel literally come out, stop the projection of the movie and just yell, "The Avengers movie is coming out in 2 years," that would have been way more subtle. It would have been way more subtle than what they had in this movie, pretty much. In case in point, Captain America's shield, the Thor cameo, the Thor's, hammer, Easter egg after the credits. Which, why would you put that in an Iron Man movie? Like, that's like, why not have like an Easter egg for an Iron Man 3, not a Thor movie? It didn't make any sense at all. Like, you didn't see the Captain America movie advertise the Iron Man 3. It made no fucking sense. It advertised the Avengers, which made sense. Okay, what else? Oh, yeah, speaking about the second action scene where Rhodey and Tony were fighting, why was there an arc reactor in the suit? Like, wouldn't Tony just, if he wanted to use that suit, use his own arc reactor? It's kind of dangerous because people can just steal them and make more Iron Man suits, which is what happens in this film. Rhodey takes the Mark II, makes it into the War Machine armor. That's really about it. Like, why? Like, why? Made no goddamn sense. I'll tell you why. Plot convenience. There you go. And, I don't know. I mentioned that Samuel L. Jackson, he had no point really to be in the film other than the advertised the Avengers movie. I said that. And there's also a really long as hell and pointless courtroom scene in the movie. No point in it at all, and it never shows up later in the film. No goddamn point at all, and it's so goddamn pointless. Pointless. And I can say that about this movie, because it's pointless. There's no point in watching this movie. Just go watch the Avengers movie. Go watch Iron Man 3. Watch the first Iron Man movie. Skip this movie completely. This is the worst, the only black sheep, pretty much, in the Phase 1 Marvel films. And that's really sad, because they were doing really good until Iron Man 2. This movie sucks. And that's why I'm going to give it a verdict of 5. I'm going to give it a 5. Only because Robert Downey Jr. and Scarlett Johansson. But first, Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. And he's the only man that can play Iron Man perfectly in any Iron Man film. That's one reason. The other reason, because Scarlett Johansson. I really have to explain she's Scarlett Johansson. She's pretty much just the hottest woman living and breathing on this planet right now. Newsflash Hollywood, you can have hot actresses in your movie that can actually act. And are actual actors. Believe it or not. That's really startling, right, Hollywood? Right? But that's really all I have to say about Iron Man 2. I hate this movie. I hate this movie. I hate this movie. If I had a nickel for every single time this movie did something bad that I hated, I'd probably have the budget of this movie, and I'd probably take that budget and go make a better Iron Man movie. So, fuck this movie. Fuck everything that had to go into it, except for, the good things about it, which, are really good. I hate this movie. Skip it, pretty much. I hate this movie. Do not I hate this movie. But if you like this video, subscribe for more. If you disagree with me, then go make your own review and tell me why you liked it. But otherwise, I'm What You 3 Movies Roll, and I'll see you soon with my review of Iron Man 3 coming up in 6 days. That's pretty damn soon, and I'm excited. I hope you are, and I'll see you soon.